watching KOB Eyewitness News Today with Nicole Brady, Steve Stucker, and Ken Tobin, the team that stands for New Mexico.
We're heading into our 5 a.m. hour on a Wednesday morning here. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, getting you out the door. A little chilly out there, but then by the end of the day, it's supposed to be just gorgeous.
Well, a cool start to the day. We're expecting more mild temperatures, but we are waking up to some fog we want to tell you about across eastern New Mexico. The National Weather Service has issued a dense fog advisory for the eastern sections of the state. Freezing fog, which could make those roads slick across the northwest corner of New Mexico. So right now, a little bit cooler than yesterday, plus we're dealing with a little bit of a breeze. So those numbers from the 20s, 30s into the 40s, but take a look at this high temperature. We are forecasting 58 degrees. More on the next storm moving in our direction. That's coming up in your full forecast.
The end is finally in sight. We're about 10 days away from when crews say most of the construction will be done at Paseo and I-25.
Yeah, it's taken a little more than a year, but we are almost there, and our Nikki Ibarra got an exclusive look at the nearly finished work. She joins us live from near Paseo and I-25 this morning. Nikki?
Well, good morning, Kim and Nicole. Yes, December 20th, that's when crews say most of the construction should be done here at Paseo and I-25. A lot of people are really excited about that, especially those who use Paseo on a daily basis. And guys, there's still a lot of work to be done. You can see crews are already starting their work day, working on that flyover, on that two-lane flyover. We got a close-up first look of that flyover yesterday. It will take drivers going north on I-25 over to Paseo going west. And yes, the clock is ticking on the project, which started fall of last year. Melissa Dosher with the Department of Transportation says crews are working hard to meet that December 20th date.
They're finishing out what's called a punch list, and they're also finishing up the flyover.
Well, from now until December 20th, there will be more than 200 people working on the project, so expect it to be extremely busy until then, and you can also expect some closures. And guys, we weren't the only ones to get that first look at the flyover going over I-25. We had a special guest. We'll tell you who that is coming up in our next half hour. Reporting live, Nikki Ibarra, KOB Eyewitness News 4.
All new this morning, a report just released compares New Mexico's health to the rest of the country's. This year's America's Health Rankings put New Mexico at 33rd in the country, down one spot from 32nd last year. So we're kind of in the middle there. There's good and bad in this report. We talked with a local family doctor, Denise Leonardi, about the key takeaways.
Binge drinking has decreased in New Mexico, which is great for us. There is a lower prevalence of obesity in New Mexico compared to the rest of the country. It's almost at 30% in America, but in New Mexico it's at 26%.
She adds New Mexico still has a high rate of drug deaths. We are 49th in the nation for prescription and non-prescription drug deaths. Coming up in our next hour, we'll look more into the problem of childhood obesity and how Dr. Leonardi says New Mexico can tackle it.
An ex-APD officer might have to wait until next year to find out if he'll get his law enforcement certification back. The lawyer for Adam Casals submitted a letter to the state board that certifies officers. Casals had his certification revoked after the crash last year that killed Ashley Browder. He's currently serving a 90-day sentence for careless driving in that crash. The Law Enforcement Academy Board took away an APD officer's license who's accused of kneeing a UNM law student in the groin. Pablo Padilla got into a fight with a suspected drunk driver during a traffic stop back in April. That led to what Jeremy Martin's attorney called severe and permanent injuries. The DA's office says Padilla deleted cell phone video of the incident that Martin's friend shot. In light of that, the court tossed out DWI charges against Martin, and he's now suing Padilla and the city.
District Attorney Carrie Brandenburg is defending her decision to allow a man who shot at police to plead down his charges. We first told you Monday that the Albuquerque Police Officers Association was upset about the case against Jason Halverson. He initially faced 14 charges for opening fire on officers. Now with a plea deal, he'll go to prison on 2 of those charges, facing up to 4 years behind bars.
And oftentimes, you know, when we strike a plea, what we do is we balance with the evidence what we think we would get if the case proceeded to trial. What kind of sentence do you think we would get after we got a conviction?
I think officers expect them being victimized to be taken seriously.
Brandenburg defended her office, saying the circumstances of this case just did not support what the officers wanted. Sentencing for Jason Halverson is set for next month.
A child actor who appeared in a movie filmed in New Mexico remains behind bars this morning, accused of attempted murder and armed burglary. And police say that Miguel Zapata shot a 19-year-old man at Kit Carson Park in October. Zapata, Drew Griego, and Jacob Trujillo were all accused of luring that man to the park through text messages, pretending to be a girl. Zapata's neighbor says that she can't believe he would do something like this.
Unbelievable, because that's not the Miguel I know. He's a good kid, never been in trouble, and always willing to help somebody.
That I got to meet big stars, and I got kidnapped. They made me go into a freezer truck, and I was tied up.
Yeah, we actually interviewed Zapata when he was 8 years old during the filming of the movie Zero. Padilla says that Zapata recently got an agent to further pursue his acting career. He's being held on a $500,000 cash bond.
Santa Fe police want you to keep an eye out for a fancy turquoise and diamond ring. It was stolen from the Santa Fe Gold Works store yesterday. It's worth more than $34,000, if you can believe that. This actually happened on Saturday, just before Thanksgiving. They have now released pictures and video of the people who they believe took the ring. Police say a woman distracted the clerk while the man reached into the display case, grabbing the ring. Santa Fe police are offering a reward if you have any tips that lead to an arrest. After months of reviews at rail runner crossings, the Rio Metro Transit District says trains will start running at normal speeds again in Santa Fe. Several deadly accidents involving the trains prompted the Metro, along with the DOT, the State Public Regulation Department, and city leaders to look into ways to make crossings safer. They did make some improvements and changes at several crossings. During that time, the trains moved at lower speeds. Now that the new fixes are in place, the trains can resume running at normal speed.
Time to get your resume in order. There is a job fair happening today. It starts at 9 a.m. and it's going on at the Embassy Suites Hotel. Companies are looking to hire people in sales, customer service, and human resources. So make sure you bring several copies of your resume and dress professionally. ABQ Ride is looking to change your way of thinking when it comes to Christmas music. Tomorrow, the group Calle 66 will perform in downtown Albuquerque. The New Mexico native group is known for signature sounds like salsa and merengue and other Latin styles. You can check them out tomorrow starting at about noon at the Alvarado Transportation Center. Get you in the mood for Christmas and all the seasons, because the weather's been feeling a little warm. It doesn't feel like the holidays.
Outdoor concert, no problem. Yeah.
Right, and it's been a good time to go down to the biopark and check things out. The River of Lights, and you might want to do that before the weekend because we do have a storm moving our way, so it could bring us some rain.